What is up, guys? In the midst of a quarantine, as you guys probably are all across the world, I'm actually out here trying to shoot a how-to for you guys. I got this requested a long time ago, and I figured no better time than right now to learn how to do a no-hander. This will be a tuck no-hander. You'll be able to apply this to basically any transition, but today we have a safety transition, I guess you would say, up the side of that bank and down into that grass embankment. So the grass embankment acts as two different things. One, a landing, obviously, and we like to call it a resi. Well, it's a grass resi, so it's pretty soft out. Not too sure how wet it is because it did just rain the other day, but this will be our drop off down here. And I'm gonna go through the entire process on trying to teach you how to do a no-hander the proper way, because there's a couple secrets that a lot of videos out there don't necessarily tell you. Let's get to it. All right, so first things first, you wanna find a ramp that you're comfortable with, all right? It doesn't have to be a quarter pipe. It doesn't even have to be a box jump or a fly out. It can be a wedge just like this. Anything you're basically comfortable with riding on a regular basis. But before you start to do that, you want to at least make sure that you have the bike control to be able to go up the transition and stay straight and not have to feel like you're cockeyed in the air. You don't want to feel sketchy with this, because if you take your hands off and you're sketchy in the air, you're going to land really sketchy, either one-handed or no-handed for that matter. And that's something you definitely don't want to do in the case of doing a tuck no-hander, because landing with no hands, and I've done it before, does not feel good. Especially since the handlebars are all up in your lap, and this whole area, that region can be completely destroyed, and if you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. One of the secrets that a lot of people don't necessarily go over, and I don't know why they don't go over this in videos, is the pinching. See, some people just like to drop their handlebars and just throw them into their lap and just kind of hope for the best, right? I like to take the method of pinching my knees to my stem in front of the bike area so that my bike, when I lift it, is stable. See how it barely moves, but then if I just drop it in here, you're basically waiting for that timing to just pull up it and hope that when it catches into your stomach area that it kind of just stays. But when it does that, a lot of this can happen. A lot of the handlebars can just kind of freely move like that. And with this trick, you don't want that to happen. You want the handlebars to be locked and secure so that when you do take your hands off, they're exactly where you want your handlebars to be when your hands go back on them. That is definitely a huge factor with the no-hander. You don't want your hands to kind of go back and grab here or totally miss the grip themselves. So I would show you both options, but it's kind of hard to go back after I've already learned the proper option. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna continue to go forward with the pinching of the knees on the stem. You can actually learn this method. You might look kind of funny doing this at the skate park, but I promise you it is heavily effective, especially if you just want to do it at home. If you land your back and you put your bike up and you have your bike sitting up in the air, so basically you feel like you're riding your bike but you're upside down. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video have done this before. This will really help you with the pinching technique, pulling the handlebars to you and pinching your stem to let your hands off. That stability is going to be a big factor with this trick. All right, so one thing I like to do always, and this is something I heavily encourage everyone to do because you never know the situation, you look at the ramp that you're riding. So you basically want to take a look at it, make sure there's no obstructions on it, make sure there's no obstructions on your landing, and I always encourage everyone to walk the path that they're going to be riding as well, because to be honest with you, you're so focused on doing the trick that you don't focus on what's around you, and that can really hurt you. One of the things I like to do is do a test run. You want to make sure you got the speed and the height that you want for that. All of these things play a factor. No matter whether or not you're doing a new trick or a trick you've already done, you always just want to be mindful of your surroundings and making sure that you're in the safest area you possibly can be with doing the trick. Because the last thing you want is to be taken out by something that's not even relevant to what you're doing. All right, so after you get your practice jump out of the way, you want to basically set yourself up. You want to jump and try to put those bars in your lap. Don't take your hands off right away. You kind of want to ease your way into it, because you can jump, and if you don't put your handlebars in your lap, you just lean down to it, therefore your bike will be level. And if it's level, you're gonna have to lean so far down to it, actually put you into like an anti-pop. You want to basically meet it halfway, so the lip goes up like this or angled. You want to pull it up another 15-20 degrees and lean down to it, depending on the transition type. This one right here, I'll pull it up about 15 degrees and lean the rest of the way. So we're gonna lean into the bar, try to position it where we want it, see if we can pinch the knees to the stem, and that's what we're gonna do right now. As you can see, I pulled the handlebars in the position I wanted them. I made sure I was stable in the air. That's why I held that position for so long. And I made sure that I opened up my knees enough that when I pulled the handlebars up and the stem into my lap, I was able to have enough of a gap to do that pinch that I needed to be able to get there. We're gonna do a couple more test runs just like that and try to make sure that we're in the right position to take those hands off. I'm actually gonna take the hands off this time. That way you understand. Now, be fully committed though, all right? So like don't just try to take like one hand off or speared fingers, because it just sends you off kilter. You wanna do it both same time. And I always like to say do the elbow snap. Make sure both of your arms just pop like that and pop right back on. Yeah, it is pretty muddy down here. So, as you saw with that one, I went out with a little more confidence. I tried to push through the lip a little more to try to make sure I had the distance. And I remind you, that knee pinch really helped with the stability, especially in this wind, because if I would have just thrown it up there, my bar would have been like this. Now when I pull it up and I'm pinching, watch. See how locked it is right there? It's locked. So we'll see if we'll do another angle. Maybe I'll have you guys do the follow this time so you can see how my elbows pop, and maybe the positioning of the handlebars might be a little bit better for you. Just so you know, guys, this has always been one of my favorite tricks, especially in a 360, because it just feels so stable and controlled. And when you have your hands off, it's kind of an awkward feeling, but you kind of know that it's the right feeling when you do it right. You also know when you do it wrong too, because you'll be feeling it afterwards. Let's get this drone to get behind me and we'll hit it up. All right, let's set the camera up at that angle now. That way you can get more of a straight on view of the no-hander itself versus aerial or just like different angles on the drone. I feel like this would be the best perspective for you to kind of see the handlebars dropping into the stem, pinching the stem on my knees and taking my hands off. You won't be able to see the speed that I carry, but with the other angles, you already know how much speed I carry to this. And yeah, let's just give you the right angle. Now, like I said before, when you're coming up the transition, no matter what the transition is, this is more of an embankment. It's already at like a 30-degree angle. All I have to do is pull up another 10 to 15 degrees and lean into it. You don't want to pull up too hard, because if you pull up too hard, you're not gonna be able to get that front end down. That front end's gonna stay up, you're gonna loop out and do the ultimate back slap, and that's not a good feeling. So there is a peppy medium on where you want to do it, but like I said, try to implement what I told you about pinching your knees to the stem. That's really going to help with this trick. All right, guys, I really hope this method of my way, how to do a no-hander, I think it's one of the most efficient ways with the pinching of the stem. That's going to really help you in the case of doing the no-hander. You can take this to any obstacle, a wedge, a quarter pipe, but this would be the perfect learning obstacle. I think any type of fly out to where you have the full control is going to be the best option for you. If you guys have any other suggestions for future videos, put them in the comments below. Remember, this is actually the second time I'm mentioning this. I'm giving away my current setup. My current frame, fork, and handlebar as pictured right here. Here's how you win. Comment on any video as many times as you want. Subscribe to my channel. I have a software that goes through every single comment on my videos and make sure that the winner is subscribed and comments on the video. If you guys like this video, drop a like. If you love it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.